Your thoughts on organizational DEI and its role in future-proofing the workplace?
So right now the words DEI trigger a lot of thoughts, a lot positive, maybe some negative. But I think generally what the underlying belief is that and it's really, if I say it from the point of view of organization, that is the organization tapping into the best talent for a particular thing? And because there are groups that don't have enough representation, and then therefore, it's a bit of a vicious cycle. So you can be left with actually not having access to a large part of the talent pool. And especially with respect to gender, I think women have a lot of other things that are going on in their life stages, which are not accounted for when designing the workplace. Now, after the modern workplace has been there for maybe a century, and it's only in the last 10-15 years that people are now trying to retrofit the design to also look after needs of women as they have different life stages, including maternity, etc. But the point is that the bulk of care, and care is basically unpaid, whether it is child care, whether it is household care, whether it is elder care, and there are statistics, I don't want to bore people, is basically done by women. And somewhere this is not accounted for in the design of the organization. And what it does lead to, and you referred to it briefly, is that it is not possible for a woman to have 2 jobs, maybe sometimes 3 jobs, with one pay and remain sane. So I think fundamentally beyond, yes, policies have improved, a lot of work from home, etc. does make it sense. But I think fundamentally this needs to be designed from zero base, from first principles. And also accounting for the fact that parenting is not just mothering. I mean, there is a fathering angle which people in earlier generations did not think too much about. But I think it is very important that these then get built into the design of the organization, the design of the workday, the design of a career, which is kind of begging to be done.
Thank you.
I think you're getting some loud claps from some parents there for now.
I'm very happy that women are clapping, thank you, but I'm really happy some men are clapping. This cannot be done by women alone. Thank you.
Staying on design and how you can build design from first principles. Dr. Shravan, how can organizations effectively take care of their employee well-being? Not just in the conventional sense. Today, well-being goes beyond physical well-being. Work-life balance, mental well-being. Can organizations do better at it? And how do you think they can do better at it?
I think, earlier Hemant was talking about customer requirements changing, right? And I think similarly employee requirements are changing. They are learning, they are seeing what's happening around the world, and their expectations are constantly changing. They have choices just as companies have choices. And I think the first responsibility of an organization is to listen to their employees and listen to what's happening around the world and adapt their systems. If you're able to foster a sense of community in some way, I think that's a good starting point. And these days I find that across generations, what's really found wanting or what motivates employees is learning, right? The ability to learn and take care of their various requirements. Aside from health and wellness, there's also, I think, a strong mandate for learning. I think this has been my observation, and really acknowledge that what got us here will not be what takes us there. So let's just listen and learn.